If you're starting a print-on-demand business or thinking about switching providers, this episode is for you. I'm sharing what I wish I knew before choosing a POD company, including the real factors that actually matter when you're building a brand that lasts. Plus, I'm sharing a cautionary tale from my own experience, a total horror story that happened when I switched to a POD partner based on production costs alone. Spoiler alert, it cost me way more than I saved. And of course, we'll wrap up by revealing our top recommended print-on-demand companies in 2025 and why they've earned our trust after trying multiple platforms. Let's help you avoid the mistakes, make smarter choices, and build a stronger business from the start. My name's Adrian Von Arx, here with my co-host Carlos Colon. Welcome to the Print on Demand podcast, a show dedicated to helping you make money online with Shopify and print on demand. Hello, what is up? Thank you for tuning in and welcome to the show. Adrian here with my co-host and brother Carlos, and I'm actually wearing my San Diego hat today for anyone watching on YouTube, which Carlos will recognize this immediately because we actually all got, Carlos's bachelor party was in San Diego years ago, and we all got matching San Diego hats on Carlos's request, which I'm pumped about because I love San Diego. I've lived there before.
My favorite hat.
I still spend a lot of time there, so I get to wear this all the time. But Carlos, this was an ode to you.
Woohoo!
So today we're going to be diving deeper in our discussion around choosing a print-on-demand company. But as always, before we jump in, I just wanted to really quickly give a big shout out to everyone who has taken the time to leave us reviews and comments on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. We love hearing that you're loving the show. It's very motivating and inspiring, and it makes us excited to put out more content because we could talk about this stuff all day, right? And we do actually, but thank you guys. We truly appreciate it. And if you are loving the show, and if you haven't left us a review yet, please, if you would consider leaving us one, we would really appreciate it. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Let's jump into the meat. Let's jump into the main event. So this episode, we're going to be breaking down into 3 parts. First, I'm going to share a cautionary tale, a very expensive lesson learned in my print-on-demand journey so that hopefully you can avoid making the same mistake, the same costly mistake. Secondly, we're going to talk about advice I wish I knew before choosing a print-on-demand company. And then thirdly, we're going to reveal our favorite and top recommended print-on-demand companies in 2025. So Carlos, what do you say we just jump right in?
Let's do it.
Let's freaking go. All right, guys, I got to share this cautionary tale. And out of respect for one of the companies, I'm going to intentionally leave their name out because I haven't been using them for many, many years, and I don't know what they're like now, but they were horrible when I did use them, and I don't want anyone to experience kind of what I experienced and what others I knew using them experienced too. But
hopefully they've improved since then.
I really hope they've taken their feedback, their user feedback. We were one of their top selling customers. They even sent me a mug saying top selling customer. And they lost a lot of business when we left them, but we had no choice. Really, we had no choice because our business was hemorrhaging with the experience of working with them. And they were not able to fix it in the time that we were there. So we had no choice. But let me go back to the beginning, all right? So when I first started in print on demand, I actually selected Printful. And this was actually before Printify existed. I'm pretty sure it was before Gelato existed. There were not nearly as many print on demand companies as there are today. But what I knew about Printful from my own research was that they were known for consistent quality. They were one of the biggest players in this space. They had amazing product selection, and their customer service was really good. They had live chat support. They were really quick to help you out. And overall, no print-on-demand company is perfect, but they had a really good reputation, and that was important to me. So I used them, and I was happy with them. But one day, I was distracted by, I guess you could call it a bright, shiny object. I started comparing the production costs of them to another company that I had heard about, and this other company had lower production costs. And to me, at the beginning of my journey, when I hadn't made nearly as many mistakes as I have now, I thought, okay, well, if they have the low production costs, it just makes logical sense to switch over to this other print-on-demand company. Like, I would be stupid not to, right? Because that just means that it improves my profit margins, and I can get more of the profit. I can pocket more of the profit. It seemed like a no-brainer. So I did it. I switched print-on-demand companies. I went through the headache. Like, guys, it's not the end of the world if you switch print-on-demand companies. It can be done. However, like, I would rather not switch print-on-demand companies than switch print-on-demand companies. But I did it because I was like, this will have an immediate improvement on my profit margin. And I was making sales at that time. So like I was, thinking, okay, with the sales I'm making, I could be making more profit from every sale by going with this company. So that's what I did. I spent the time, I switched everything over from Printful to this other company. Total disaster. The quality was atrocious. Like, I'm talking, not only did they consistently send the wrong products to my customers, they sent products from other companies to my customers. They weren't even from our shop. They literally sent products from other print-on-demand companies that they fulfilled for to our customers. And then don't even start on the quality. The quality was brutal. Like, we would have, every time someone said that the quality was bad, we would ask them to send us a photo so that we could send it to the print-on-demand company and that they could replace it. And what I saw was horrible. It was awful. Like, totally crooked designs where I looked at it and I was like, how could anyone think that this was okay? Like, the people at the warehouse, how could they, when they were producing it, how could they think that this is okay, that that's what it was supposed to look like? Then we had to go to this company and ask them to reprint it and send it. Sometimes a reprint would be horrible. Obviously, this would lead to a really bad first impression for new customers and a really bad customer experience. And it would significantly reduce the likelihood that we would get repeat sales. And we are big advocates of not only making sales, but trying to make repeat sales from your customers. That's how you build a profitable and sustainable brand. You acquire the customer, then you get them, you turn them into a brand loyal fan, and then you get them to buy again and again. And it's very challenging to do that when you keep selling them these crap products, right? It doesn't lead to a lot of confidence, and they're not going to want to recommend you to their friends, and it's going to lead to, negative comments potentially on social media, people not even wanting the reprint. They're like, I just want my money back. This was a horrible experience. There's a lot of downsides.
Yeah, like it's such a great story because it really illustrates what's happening when you accept lower quality for print-on-demand. Because it pretty much opens up Pandora's box, in terms of like all the issues, all the costs that you end up adding to your business that you never really imagined or you envisioned when you looked at the cost savings of going with a lower priced but lower quality print-on-demand company. So for instance, your marketing costs are going to be significantly higher because you're not going to be retaining your customers. So you're going to be constantly like hunting for new customers because you keep losing those customers after you pay for them. You keep losing them, so you're not getting those repeat sales. On top of that, your customer service issues go up, and so you're spending all this time and money on dealing with customer service issues. And not to mention, you're gonna have more chargeback claims. You're gonna have more refunds. Like, some people won't even want the product. They'll just be like, "Well, I just want a refund," right?
Right. Maybe they bought for a gift for someone and it's past the occasion, right?
Yeah. There's all these issues. It's like Pandora's box opens up when you start with a low quality print provider.
Yeah. I mean, the quality, the customer experience, the repeat sales, they all suffered. And it ended up costing us a lot. So I actually, after I think it was a couple of years, I finally bit the bullet and was like, the business can't sustain this. Like, we don't have a brand if we don't have customers. And it's very expensive to drive a lot of traffic and just acquire customers once and never have them come back again. The fortune is in the follow-up. And so we made the decision to actually go back to Printful, to go, take everything from this other company, put it all back into Printful. And I'm happy to report that we have not had to leave. We've been very happy with them ever since. I regret making the change to this other company, drawn in by the lure of lower production costs. But you know what? It's a lesson learned. And I don't necessarily regret the experience because it taught me a lot. And now we can share this with others in hopes that it'll save you from making the same mistake. Let's move on to sort of part 2 of this episode. And that is advice that I wish I was given when I first started out, because with challenges and failures and expensive mistakes come lessons learned. And our goal is to pass on these lessons so that others can avoid making the same costly mistakes we made. So here's some advice that I wish I was given when I first started out. First is to select one print-on-demand company if possible. It's just easier. There's less of a learning curve since you don't need to learn 2 different platforms. You don't have to bounce back and forth between the 2, which can be very inefficient. It can be time consuming. And it's cleaner, it's simpler, and it's more efficient to have everything in one platform. Now, are there some cases where you may want to consider a second one? Yeah, it's not the end of the world if you use more than one. I've used more than one before, although what I will say is it's much more, I really enjoyed using just one more than using multiple, for all the reasons I mentioned earlier. So select one if possible. If there's a very unique product that you're using, let's say you're selling apparel, and this one has an amazing apparel catalog, but then there's a really unique product that you want to offer that isn't offered by them, that might be a reason to go use that other one, but just for that one product, right? Just for that one unique product. Secondly, order samples. Order samples. We've ordered samples from companies where we received the samples and they were not good. They were not good samples. And that should have been a massive red flag, especially when you order multiple and they're not good. That should have been a massive red flag. But we were like, they were apologizing and saying, making all these like reasons and justifications. And I remember we actually ordered another sample because they were like, sorry about that. We'll send you another one. That one was bad too. And red flags, like the red flags were like going off, but like being a newer business owner, like you put in the work and the research and you order the samples and you just so badly want it to work so you can move on, right? So you can move on with your business, but that can be very costly. Trust us from our own experience. Order samples. I recommend, we mentioned in the last episode, ideally order 2 samples of the exact same product just to compare that the quality is consistent across both. So if it's a t-shirt, if it's a Bell & Canvas 3001 t-shirt, let's say it's a white design on a black t-shirt, make it the exact same product, like order the identical product twice and just compare the quality across the board and then make sure it's consistent across both.
Yeah. So you're talking about across 2 different PODs. If you're comparing 2 different print-on-demand companies.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So if you're comparing between 2 print-on-demand companies, order samples. But even if you're just using one, definitely order a sample from that print-on-demand company as well. So my original piece of advice is no matter who you select, order samples from that company.
Yes.
It's a small step in the due diligence process that can make a huge difference and it can change the trajectory of your brand. Like we learned the hard way. we should have ordered samples from some companies that we didn't, and then the quality was bad, and then some we did, and the quality was bad, and we should have taken that as red flag, but we just so badly wanted it to work and to move on that we accepted it, and it ended up being not good for us. It ended up being very costly. Yeah. So next piece of advice is, and with everything we're saying, this one might come across is kind of like, huh? But like, I truly mean this. Like, do not let this decision slow you down. Yes, do the due diligence. Yes, order the samples. But you do not need a month, 6 months, a year to decide on your print-on-demand company. Every day longer that you push that decision off is a day less that you are launching your brand, that you are serving your customers, that you are putting out designs that evoke emotion and relatability, that you're making sales, that you're building a profitable and sustainable brand. This will slow you down. It can become a big bottleneck, right? And I see people that spend months comparing between these print-on-demand companies. You don't need to spend months. Listen to episode 8, go through the 8 factors, go into the Shopify App Store, narrow it down and compare, to read the reviews and the star ratings, order a sample from the one that you choose or the 2 or 3 that are in competition, and then make a decision and go. That's it. And what you have to remember is that you can always change POD companies if necessary. Do you want to? No, of course not, right? We don't want to. That just takes our focus away from sales generating activity, and we don't want that. But if, in our experience, if that's going to save your brand, or if that's going to help your brand and allow you to build a more profitable and sustainable brand, then it's absolutely worth it. You can change. It's not the end of the world. And you can do it pretty quickly, especially if you don't have a lot of products. And you know what? Even if you do have a lot of products, but 95% of your sales are coming from 5% of your products, well, maybe you don't need to bring every single product over, right? If you have products that have never made a sale and you've marketed them, given them a fair shake, and no one's taking it, that's validation that it's not selling. So maybe save yourself the time from bringing over the 50% of products that you've never made a sale from. Carlos, I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah. One thing I will say about that is that if you are switching POD companies, a lot of times the POD company that you're switching to will provide support as you're switching over. They'll have ways of saving you a ton of time. Usually they'll have either an integration tool that will help you move everything over, or they'll have some sort of hacks, quick tricks of how to switch it over quickly. And so use them. Don't just try to do it yourself and look online. Just talk to their support, because it's in their best interest to have you switch over. Totally.
Yeah, that's so true. We've had students that have got great support from print-on-demand companies by telling them that they're going to migrate over, that they want to migrate over. So advice I wish I was giving when I first started out, just to kind of summarize that: select one print-on-demand company if possible, order samples. Don't let this decision slow you down, and remember that you can always change print-on-demand companies if necessary. Next, let's shift gears into part 3 of this episode, and that is our favorite and top recommended print-on-demand companies in 2025. So we not only work with, we've worked with a number of print-on-demand companies ourselves, but we also have a lot of students who work with print-on-demand companies. So we experience a lot of this stuff ourselves, and then we hear the stories from our students as well and who they're using. And our personal favorite, all things considered, our personal favorite and top recommended print-on-demand companies in 2025 are Printify and Printful, which recently merged at the end of last year. They're now one company, even though they're still 2 separate platforms. So we use, and recommend these companies for a number of reasons. One, their product selection. So Printify has over 1,000 products in their catalog, including some very unique product categories: coffee, supplements, skincare. product categories that I haven't even seen anywhere else. So we really like the product selection. Printful, I think they have around 330 products in their product catalogs. That's still very, very good. Product quality, I would say across the board, not only in our experience, but what we hear from students comparing the different platforms, compared to other print-on-demand companies, they have a good reputation for consistent quality.
One thing I will say
go ahead.
is we have to look them a little bit different. Like Printful is, it's all in-house. It's all like, it's Printful. Printify is a network. So we just got to make that clear. Our students, a lot of them usually use like maybe one or two production partners in that network, and they love the quality, but it does depend on your production partner who you choose.
Totally. Like not all production partners in Printify are equal. Some aren't as good as others, and you can see their star rating in there. And I recommend choosing one with a high star rating. So some very reputable ones that immediately come to mind are SPOD and Monster Digital. These are two of the fan favorites amongst print-on-demand sellers, and they're rated highly and people like them. Are they perfect? No, because no print-on-demand company is perfect.
And now that Printful is joining,
just going to say, now that Printful is a production partner, they're already rated like 9.4 last time I checked in Printify, which super high rating. And that doesn't surprise me at all, because Printful has always been known for quality amongst print-on-demand companies. So product quality, that's huge. Another reason why we like these companies are decoration options. So both of them have cool options, and they're kind of merging now. So Printful has direct-to-film. Most print-on-demand companies use direct-to-garment printing, which can look really good. But direct-to-film, one of the nice things about it is that now you can print on certain fabrics, certain clothing styles that you couldn't print on with direct-to-garment. It just wouldn't look good. And so an example of that would be athletic wear, like kind of like jerseys, athletic jersey style. It looks much better with direct-to-film than it does on direct-to-garment. So it just gives us more options as sellers. Other decoration methods, they do wrist embroidery in Printful, and they do sleeve printing in Printify. So these different unique embroidery options, like large chest embroidery is another one that's offered in Printful. Printful, just a bunch of their hats. So our best-selling product of all time is hats, and embroidered hats specifically. And Printful is the GOAT when it comes to print-on-demand and embroidered products, in my opinion, in my experience. And they just brought in a whole bunch of hats. Like now Printify is getting more embroidered hats. So this is great. This is excellent. Branding options. We love branding options. Printful has always had the edge in terms of branding options, in my opinion, over any other print-on-demand company that I've seen. There's other ones that offer branding options, but I've always I was really drawn to Printful for their branding options, and they're really good. And they've expanded them more since I started using them. And then Printify has done the same thing. Printify has also expanded their options, and they're probably going to expand them with the Printful ones soon. So ease of use, the user interface, like the actual print-on-demand website that you go in to upload your designs and put them on mockups and whatnot, really user-friendly, both of them, really simple to navigate, really intuitive. The customer support is awesome in both Printify and Printful. Their global network, both of them have... Well, Printify has production facilities all around the world, many of which are with different print providers. And then Printful, they actually own a lot of their own warehouses, and they have warehouses all over the world.
They've got quite a few too, yeah.
A lot. Yeah. And then the last thing I want to mention is innovation. Both these companies are very innovative. Like they're always getting better. And I've been really impressed. With Printful, I really wanted to create a lifestyle brand, like a brand that was really attractive to my ideal customer, and one that they could align their values with, and that they really loved and they wanted to support. And with the branding options and what they continued rolling out, the different styles, they were always on trend with the styles they rolled out. It was really great. And then Printify, Printify has got to be one of the most innovative print-on-demand companies I know, just based on the stuff they do. They're always getting better. Going back to kind of the example of the product categories, all in 1 year, they released 3 new product categories: coffee, supplements and skincare, which I'd never seen from any print-on-demand company before. That just goes to show that like they're kind of on the cutting edge of innovation. Maybe other print-on-demand companies will start offering those if they see that Printify is having a lot of success with it, right?
That's the beauty of having a network too.
Totally.
Right? They're also getting innovation from a lot of the other print-on-demand providers in the network.
Yep, absolutely. So for all these reasons and more, also based on our own student feedback and their experiences, this is the company that we use, love, and recommend. We do want you to still go out there and do your own due diligence and do your own research. But based on our experience, these are two companies that we feel very confident vouching for and that we feel very confident recommending, although we still don't even recommend them to everyone because it depends on if they don't offer a product that you want to sell, your core product, then they're not the best fit for you, right? So I just want to mention that this is our own experience, and we do, we strongly recommend doing your own research and your own due diligence. So in full transparency, I do also want to mention that we are affiliates for Printify and Printful, but that's because they are our top recommended print-on-demand companies, and we've been using Printful for years, and we're very happy with them. So why wouldn't we vouch for them, right? This isn't a sponsored video, and we are not or a sponsored episode, I should say, and we're not being paid to say this. If you followed me for a while, you know that these have been my top 2 recommended print-on-demand companies for quite some time, and all of 2025 and even all of 2024, like for years, they've been my top recommended print-on-demand companies. And we will not promote any companies that we don't believe in and that we wouldn't use ourselves. I'm not saying they're perfect. They're not. And I'm not even saying that they're right for your business. I'm saying that they're who we feel is right for our business and the businesses of many of our students only after learning about our students' business goals. Then we can confidently make a recommendation. So like I said, I encourage you to do your own research and decide who is best for you and your business. Now, Carlos, is there anything you want to add to that before we kind of wrap things up here?
Yeah. I just want to make a point that even though we recommend them, and even though there's all these reasons why, no POD is perfect. No POD is perfect. So you still will run into issues where maybe you're going to have a bad print job or maybe a bad embroidery job. I think the big thing here is that they have a reputation that they have to keep, and so they're going to make it better.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, and Adrian says this a lot too, no POD is perfect. And so expect that it's not going to be perfect every single order. And I mean, it wouldn't even be perfect even if you did it yourself every single order.
Yeah, true. Or if you outsourced it to a local screen printer.
What we're looking for is someone who does a good quality job on a consistent basis over time. Yep,
exactly. Well said. So as we kind of land this plane on the episode, I do want to say that if you do want to try Printify or Printful out yourself for free, we've included our affiliate links in the show notes of this episode. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll include them below this video as well. And if you do go with Printify, you can get 30 days of free premium membership with code Adrian30. So, just wanted to mention that and wanted to also say thank you so much in advance for anyone who uses any of those links. Affiliates, they support this show at no extra cost to you, and they allow us to put out more free content like this episode. So thank you to everyone and anyone who uses our Printify link or our Printful link or any of the affiliate links that we've included in the show notes. We really appreciate it. We appreciate you. And with that, we're going to sign off. So thank you so much for listening. You guys are awesome. Remember to start before you're ready, take imperfect action, and know that you're always one design away.
Hey, if you're loving the Print on Demand podcast and want more, please help us out by rating this on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you're listening from. It only takes a minute, and this is one of the best ways to support us and let us know that you're enjoying these weekly episodes. Thank you in advance, and we'll talk soon.